All right. My dear fellow listeners and viewers, good evening once again, and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Narine Dat Show. The whole purpose of the Dr. Narine Dat Show is to create a safe space for positive energy and mutual respect. If you have listened to us in the past, you will know that there are a few different ways to do so. You can listen to us on the radio dial, that's the radio, 102.7 CKMS FM. You can listen to us on Rogers digital cable as well, for those of you who have the Rogers digital box. And of course, we are also live streaming our interview here. So please, by all means, take the opportunity to share our page. We are joined tonight by the very, very talented Guyanese-born Vickram. We will use this time to kind of get to know him a little bit more as an individual, and obviously we will be talking about his passion for music and a whole lot more. So you don't want to miss this interview. So Vikram, welcome to the show. How are you doing this evening?
Thank you, Mr. Narine, for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Good. Awesome. Good, good. We are so glad that you, take the time to join us. We are forever grateful for that. So you know the drill. You've seen the show before. We don't have anybody else here, so the space is all yours. What I would like for you to do, take a couple of minutes, take your time, introduce yourself, reintroduce yourself so that folks know who you are, a little bit about where you're born and basic things of that sort. When you're done, we'll kind of take it from there. During the second half, we'll kind of get into the musical piece. We will also showcase some of, your videos and things of that sort. So take it away and introduce yourself so that folks get to know a little bit about you.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I want to say good night, salam alaikum, sitaram to all the viewers. Thank you so much for locked in. My name is Vickram Surujpaul. I was born in Guyana in Canal Number 2 Polder. I went to the K-Wall Nursery School, and then I've attended the K-Wall Primary School, and followed by West Demerara Secondary School, where I attained my secondary certificate. I then went to the London Chamber of Commerce board in Guyana, where I sat a couple of the ACCA exams, where I became a certified accountant. I then tried to get my papers for a better life to the United States, and I came here quite some time. I've grown up with, many siblings from a very poor family. We were very fortunate to grow up with the very basics, but we managed, and I'm forever grateful to my parents. God bless my dad's soul. He passed, and my mom is living with me, and I cherish her every single day. I came to the United States and I venture on my own, and I've accomplished a lot. I'm currently working for the federal government. And apart from working, this is what I do. I enjoy singing. I enjoy singing in the temples, on the small stage, the local stage, the international stage. I'm thankful for my family. I'm a very family-oriented person. And that's the gist of me. I am very grateful. I'm very happy.
Awesome. What a good way to start off the show. I hope you were hearing yourself. You paid a lot of gratitude as you were responding and speaking, which is such a beautiful thing. Gratitude is important, and I like how you pretty much answered several of my questions already. And I have not, I'm asking anything as of yet, which I very much appreciate. Awesome. Good way to start a show. Let me take you back to your earlier years in Guyana, though. What was life like for you? I know you kind of generally mentioned a little bit about it, but what was life like for you growing up, with your peers, your friends, going to school and all of that in that era, right? Because it's very different now, right? 2 decades ago, it was very different. What was it like for you growing up in
Yeah,
your
well,
village?
my school was not far away from me. So every morning we would wake up. My mom, it was like seven of us. So my mom had to get all of us ready, prep for school. And we were actually walking to school. It's just like a mile away. So we would walk to school and being in school with very limited resources at the time, we
Mhm.
were just able to take notes and prepare for exams. But I was a person, I would call myself a special person because I always have the inner feeling to do well, to prosper, to make sure I get first in class.
Mhm. Mhm.
To revise my work. And my parents, I made them very proud, from going to school and become successful. My siblings also had the equal opportunity, and my friends, my peers, my classmates, we were all engaged and trying to learn with the best we had at that time. So it was not the best of everything, but we made it work.
So, yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. And when you migrated, obviously, as you mentioned, it has been quite a few years ago. Um, what was some of the cultural shock that came to mind, as you're thinking about it now? What was some of the changes you had to adopt to? Obviously, the weather is one thing, and as you know, it's kind of cold as we speak. But generally speaking, what were some of the things that you had difficulties adjusted?
Well, as you said, the weather was one, and when I came to this country, I had my sister here, so she
Mm,
was pretty much, and my brother-in-law, they were my backbone here. I lived with them for quite some time until I venture off on my own,
mm,
but they were a very strong support system for me. But I know I wanted to be and to do big things and to go off on my own one day. So I made that possible at a very young age. Um, it was very difficult, to get a job when you
mm,
come here and you don't know much.
mhm,
Maneuver around public transportation and
mhm.
trains and subways. That was a big challenge. Um, finding an apartment on your
Mm.
own was no, I don't want to sound like I'm
Mm.
complaining, but
No, no,
those
no,
are
no, no.
some
I
those
wanted to
are
be
the
transparent on the show here, so not to
yes,
worry. We all have been there, so that's
yeah,
totally fine.
those are some of the key things that I have to
Mm,
take away from
mm,
struggles.
mhm.
I would mention those.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. What advice would you have then for folks who are coming, now? People still migrate, right? People all over the world, regardless of how things have changed over the years, and in some cases more challenging too, right? With the political system and leadership and things of that sort. People are still coming. What advice do you have for folks who are kind of starting life now and starting from scratch? Um, because you have that experience, right? And you've made it work for you. What advice do you have for folks who are probably
Yeah, well,
watching, will be watching?
I would say to the young folks or to families who migrated here, or not only in this country, but in Canada, North
Hmm.
America in general, they should really stay true to themselves, stay grounded, work hard because as a result of hard work, you could achieve anything. And I would say that 10 times. That's really what it is. Stay grounded. You have to, save money. You have to stay grounded, and you have to make sure that you do the right things. Stay out of trouble. Some make sacrifice for a couple of years until you could, you have a good foundation. And then you could, start to enjoy a little bit out the outdoors, travel and stuff like that. But you have to stay grounded, stay focused, and do the right things.
Those are all good advice, Vikram.
Thank you.
Awesome,
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah, it looks like you had the opportunity and you made the most out of it, which is awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Good stuff. Because I've also known of folks who had the opportunity but did not, make the most out of it, right? It's unfortunate, but we also have situations as such as well, too, kind of thing. All right. Did you visit back Guyana recently at all?
Oh, yes, I go home a lot. I went home quite a bit. The last time I went was in July of this year, for a couple of days. Yeah, but Guyana has transformed, anybody who wanna go back home, I'm not gonna sit here and be an advocate for them, but I
Hmm.
heard Guyana is getting really, really good.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Guyana's, it is still a developing country, but it is very different than what it used to be 20,
Back
25
then.
years ago, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
back
But it
then.
still would take a long time to get to a certain point, right? But we cannot compare it with, places like Canada and the United States and so forth, right?
Yeah,
They're
of
still
course.
developing, and it's going to take decades actually to get to a certain point. But without any question, they have more resources now, things of that sort, which is a beautiful thing, right? The
Right.
schools system, as you know, has developed and things of that sort. Awesome, good stuff. Well, thank you so much for that. It's nice to have a little bit of an idea of people, right? Understand their journey and things of that sort. So now let's talk about this musical thing. Music itself, it's a beautiful thing. It's a really good therapy for human relaxation that I can tell you. It's a special thing, right? And many people are part of it in different ways, right? We all are aware of music. If people are not singing or if they're not musicians, they will listen to the music and they will have a good time. They'll enjoy. People play music while they're driving, all of these types of things. How did you get started? I'm kind of switching to this whole musical thing now, because I want to hammer out some of those pieces. How did it get started for you? Meaning that, do you come from a musical family? Did you just fall into it, by attending temple? What's the deal?
Yeah, well, I only know of recently that my grandfather brother was a pianist. He also played the harmonium and he was a singer. I only knew this like a couple months ago. I want to know myself how I get this, why I like singing and stuff like that. So I actually started though when I finished writing my CXC exams back
Mm-hmm.
home. Because during that time, I finished writing CXC in June, and from June to August, I wanted to occupy myself doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to myself, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I don't wanna go anywhere on a 2-month vacation. I'm gonna go to the temple and I'm gonna start singing. I'm gonna try to get a badge and book.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote my bhajans, by the way, and I'm gonna start singing. So I did that, and I started singing in the temple. The name of the temple is Canal Number 2, New Anglet, Vishnu Mandir.
Oh, wow.
There's where it all started. So I sang there for a couple of years until I migrated. After migration, I came here. I did not sing because, the temples were far away and, the weather and job. I could not go to the temple every Sunday or every Thursday whenever they had it.
Mm-hmm.
So during COVID, I decided to buy a machine, a karaoke system. I
Mm-hmm.
bought speakers, I bought a mixer, I bought mic, and I started singing. So that I started with like, Kishore Kumar, Muhammad Rafi, and this
Mm-hmm.
thing is so easy. It's so simple. It's natural. So I started during COVID, and then someone heard me sing, and they asked me if I wanna, join their show. I said sure, but I was nervous. I'm going on a stage to people
Yeah.
actually see me sing. So anyway, I went to that show, and I did so good. People I interacted, and it actually started from there, where I get a sense of feeling that people love my voice. They like what I do, and it kind of boosts my confidence. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And speaking of that, I want to share with folks who are watching, listening right now, a piece of your talent, right? So let's do that right now so the folks can enjoy. I'm randomly selecting things here, but because they're all, production of yours and song of yours, I'm sure they all will have some sort of,
Of course.
likeness to yourself. And when we're done, I want you to reflect on it a little bit. How about that?
Sure.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
मैंने तेरे लिए ही 7 रंग के सपने चुने सपने सुरीले सपने मैंने तेरे लिए ही 7 रंग के सपने चुने सपने सुरीले सपने कुछ हंस के कुछ गम के तेरी आंखों के साई चुड़ाई रसीली यादों ने ओ मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने सपने सुरीले सपने
Elevation to the nation, imperial to the world. This is your boy Vickram Surujpaul.
छोटी बातें छोटी छोटी बातों की यादें बने भूले नहीं बीती हुई एक छोटी घड़ी छोटी बातें छोटी छोटी बातों की यादें बनी भूले नहीं बीती हुई एक छोटी घड़ी जन्म जन्म से आंखें बिछाए तेरे लिए इन राहों में ओ मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने सपने सुरीले
So I'm gonna pause that because I want to feature, a few other ones as well too. And because of time limitation and so forth, I want to make sure I utilize your time wisely. By the way, folks, for those of you who are watching, listening, do know that all of the songs that you're listening to right now are available on YouTube, so you can easily find it just by typing our guest's name, right? Vickram uh, Surujpaul. Am I saying the last name correctly there? Surujpaul? Is that
Yeah.
the
Yes.
proper way? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So I want to feature a few other ones as well too. So that's one reason I paused that. But tell us a little bit about that. Obviously, there are lots of choices out there, lots of options, and whatnot. Why is it that you've chosen this particular song?
Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked it. Being from a little age, I grew up listening to that song. My dad used to play it, and I connected with that song right away. I listened to it growing up, and it's a really, really nice song. So that was actually my second song I sang. I did it professionally. But it should have been my number one, but I didn't regret it. It's a song I really grew up, to learn and to like, and I was happy to do the production. The production was actually done by Ken Rock, in Minnesota, and the video was done by Mr. Naresh Singh, who did a phenomenal job. And the video shoot was actually filmed in Beacon, New York. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Folks, for those of you who are watching, listening, I just want to remind you that our guest here is no other than Vickram, very, very talented individual, Guyanese born, and we are so glad that he is taking time off his busy schedule to be with us. Keep in mind as well that there are a few different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us on the regular dial, that's the radio, 102.7C KMS FM. You could also listen to us on Rogers Digital Cable for those of you who have the Rogers Digital Box, which is a Canadian thing, by the way, just in case if you are not living in Canada. And obviously, we are live streaming our interview here. So by all means, we encourage you to share our page, so that way more folks get to know of our guests. All right. So what can folks expect from you in terms of new projects and things of that sort? I mean, it is not uncommon for people to, work on things behind the scenes and so forth. You do not have to share everything here per se, but do you have anything in the works at all? Where people can expect, to have
Yes.
something
Well,
different and new from you in the new year?
yes, I actually have a flyer out. I will be releasing on West Indian Chutney Music and Masala Entertainment and DJ Wallace Studios in Suriname this coming Friday. I'm going to be releasing the Legends mashup. The Legends mashup is I don't want to give it away too much, but it's a couple of songs from these legends, these souls that actually created great music, these Indian legends. To name a few, I could say Mukesh, Muhammad Rafi, Kishore. Um, a couple of my songs from my mashup were actually sung by them. So that's why I named it the Legends Mashup, and it's actually releasing brand new this Friday, this
Amazing.
coming Friday. Yeah,
Excellent. So people do have something to look forward to, and I'm
yes,
glad that you kind
absolutely.
of give them a little bit of teaser here. That's for sure. I would assume, and I was learning over the years that we should never assume things. So I want to hear from you. I would assume that preparing a song, organizing things, making the time for it, balancing it, with work and, doing what you like and everything else in between can take a lot of time. Does it feel like that for you, or you just do it because you have the passion for it?
Well, it's a combination of both, because I don't have much time. I work a full-time job. I'm also a
Mm-hmm.
landlord. So maneuver around that and my busy job,
Mm-hmm.
I still find the time for music. So I would say it's a combination of both, but singing is my hobby and I enjoy doing it. And I find the time so easily because it is my passion and I find the time. No matter if a shoot takes 8 hours on a Sunday. I find the time. I find the time to do it.
That's awesome. So you mentioned earlier that you obviously perform, in a temple setting, things of that sort, on bigger stage and all of that. And it looks like you've performed at different places, countries, and things of that sort. Do you have a specific place that you really enjoy to perform the most? Let's say in New York City or maybe Toronto or homeland Guyana, things of that sort. Do you have a specific place or when you're performing, you're really feeling your best self?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hmm.
I actually went to I would say is Vancouver, Canada.
Hmm.
We were there for a show August of 2024, and I was the last one to sing that night. And I did not know that all they listen down there is basically Bollywood music. And I was singing my Chutney and my remixes, and I had everybody. It was like a moment for me. I would forever remember that moment. It was a moment where I had almost everybody on the stage, and it was like grand. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Amazing.
So I would say Vancouver, Canada.
That's good to know. So I'm glad that you are taking the time to visit Canada as well too, which is a beautiful thing.
Of course, of course.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so well, let me quickly say hello to a few people. Obviously, based on the screen I'm looking at, I wouldn't be able to see everybody, but I want to acknowledge a few people. And I have to ask you this question here. So, Nandani, is that your mother or sister?
That's my sister.
That's
Yes.
the sister. See,
Hello,
look.
Nandani.
Okay. It's nice when you can have people, support you, particularly your family and the people in your circle, because at the end of the day, if your own people cannot support you, that is a huge problem, right? So I'm glad to see that you have your sister kind of, is here to kind of cheer you on, which is awesome. So special hello to you, Nandani. Thank you for taking a sneak peek. I want to say hello to Ken Ramprasad as well too. Thank you so much, sir. We will have to connect, by the way, hopefully before the Christmas holiday. John from Queens, Bibi's watching right now, and I know Bibi, you are an advocate for a special sickness or disease that you have, so to speak. You're very open about it. I will have you on the show, so have no fear at all. I know that it is your desire to bring the awareness, so we'll figure out a time and date to make sure it happens. All right, and thank you for being consistent, by the way. Soren, I want to give a special hello to Soren, a former villager of mine. He lives in the States, and one of the interesting thing about Soren, a friend of mine, a former villager, he was born with three thumbs. Yeah, so one is of his hand has like an extra thumb and it moves and everything. So when we were small, it became a normal thing for us, but it was kind of interesting as well too, right? To see that he has an extra thumb. So and he still has it, as I understand, right? It's pretty cool. Sorry, it's a blessing, and it's awesome. So thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. Indira, do you know these people? Indira,
Indira, I've known
Jai
several.
Kisoon? No?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's my villager in town.
Well, there you go. See, you have your villager people supporting. It's awesome. I like that because at the end of the day, regardless of what we do in life, we have to have people that can support us, right? Which is awesome. And we want to treat them as well too. So what we'll do, we'll feature another piece of yours so that folks can enjoy. All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Chalao na neno se banre, chalao na neno se banre, jaan le lo na jaan re, jaan le lo na jaan re, kahin nikal na jaye, kahin nikal na jaye, kahin nikal na jaye, kahin nikal na jaye, hamre body se, hamre body se, hamre body se pran re. हमरे बॉडी से प्राण रे चलाओ ना नैनो से बान रे चलाओ ना नैनो से बान रे जान ले लो न जान रे जान ले लो न जान रे जान ले लो न जान रे शामिल न हो शामिल न हो शामिल न हो शामिल न हो हमरा बूतों में हमरा बूतों में हमरा बूतों में नाम रे हमरा बूतों में नाम रे चलाओ न नैनो से बान रे चलाओ न नैनो से बान रे जान ले लो न जान रे जान ले लो न जान रे जान ले लो न जान रे
Innovation to the nation, imperial to the world. This is your boy, Vickram Surujpaul.
मारी गुलाती है मोरा जिया मोरी कला ही न मोर पिया मारी गुलाती है मोरा जिया मोरी कला ही न मोर पिया थोड़ी कला ही न छोड़ेंगे हम तोड़े बिन हम अधूरे हैं राम कसम कहीं निकल न जाए कहीं निकल न जाए कहीं निकल न जाए कहीं निकल न जाए हमरे बॉडी से हमरे बॉडी से हमरे बॉडी से प्राण रे हमरे बॉडी से प्राण रे चलाओ न नैनो से बान रे चलाओ न नैनो से बान रे जान ले लो न जान रे जान ले लो न जान रे जान ले लो न जान रे
All right. So I'm just going to pause that as all due. So now we're talking chutney here. So yes, so tell us about that. Tell us about that production. What was it like for you to put it all together? Some of the responses and things of that sort.
Yeah, well, that song I was actually motivated by Raymond Ramnarine to do that song. I actually did a complete remake of it, and that was also done by Mr. Ken Rock. He put his own twist and he made a beautiful track. I really enjoy doing that because I feel Chutney is more in my wheelhouse.
Mm.
I feel more confident singing Chutney. I'm not discrediting Bollywood and
Mhm, mhm.
and any other type of songs, but I believe I really like the Chutney ones. Um, the video was also done by Naresh Singh, and the video was done in Newburgh, New York, waterfront, and a park next to me right here in town.
That's awesome for sure. And so, obviously, a lot of people will start off doing the Bollywood thing. Sometimes they will start off doing like the bhajans, their religious pieces, and so forth. And then after a while, they want to not branch out per se, but they want to add more to what they're already doing, right? And then eventually they kind of find themselves. And some people can do it well in terms of separating their personal values with their professional values. Sometimes they realize that, certain audience probably need, something different, and they're open to all of those types of things as well, too, which is good. And as you know, the chutney thing will never get old, right? That's what the West Indian people love.
That's what they want. Yes, yes.
That's what they want. That I can tell you. Sure, that will never get old. I think it's part of that culture thing. But I mean, you can't get away from the fact that, like Bollywood music, especially older tunes and so forth. I mean, there's nothing can replace those ones, you know.
No.
They're special in their own way. It might not be the jump up type of song, so to speak. Um, yeah, but it's nice to be versatile, and looks like you are, right? Because you
I
can
am, yeah.
you can do it, you can do the
I'm
chutney.
actually singing everything. I sing bhajans, I sing Bollywood, I sing the remixes, I sing Chutney, I sing even some English songs by Bob Marley and you know, different artists, John Bland. I find myself singing different songs. So it's just a matter of an effort and see what works and what doesn't.
And how about like training the voice and things of that. So like, do you have like a mentor, or something along that line that kind of guide you along, or you kind of giving the best shot and the best way you know how?
Well, I had in the New Anglet Hindu Temple in Guyana. I actually I have to give him a big shout out. His name is Gopal.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually leader of our Kirtan group, and
Mm-hmm.
I have listened to songs and the ear song that I'm trying to replicate them.
Mm-hmm.
But Gopal actually drove from he was actually riding at the time from Wales and going to Canal, I think like about 10 miles each way.
Mm-hmm.
And he would come on Sundays to give us practice. So I have to give him a big shout out and a big thank you to him for allowing us to sing because he was actually our teacher. And there's a nice Krishna song. I never forget that Krishna song that he taught me to sing, and I want to do a cover with it. He actually molded us. That he was our teacher pretty
Mm-hmm.
much, but it wasn't for long. It was just for a few months.
Okay.
So I did had a little bit of vocal training.
That's good. No, that's awesome. I'm only asking. Some people naturally kind of put effort and they kind of make it work for them.
Yeah.
And some people kind of had that musical background and it kind of fall in place for them. Let me quickly say hello to a few other folks as well too. Let me give a special hello to Mahendra. Thank you so much, sir, for taking a sneak peek and engaging with what we do here. Very much appreciated. I want to give a special hello to Rayan as well too, watching all the way from Guyana, Berbice, Guyana. Indira. And those are names I can see. I'm not able to see everybody here, but do know we appreciate all of you. For those of you who have just tuned in, do know that you're watching and listening to the Dr. Narine Dat Show, and the whole purpose of the show is to create a safe space for positive energy and mutual respect. There are a few different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us on the regular dial, that's the radio, 102.7C KMS FM. You can also listen to us on Rogers, the digital cable, for those of you who have the Rogers digital box. And of course, we are also live streaming our interview here, and we hope that you will take the privilege to share it so that more folks can get to know of our guests. All right, so what we'll do, we'll feature another piece of his song so that you can enjoy, and then we'll kind of take it from there. I want to do bits and pieces so the folks can kind of enjoy.
Okay.
I went to a wedding in Guyana and I bounced up the Dulahin and Dulaha. When I started to sing the chutney song, if you see them start to dance along, Sanki Shama gaye ko na bona kabhar na lai, kabhar na lai, kabhar na lai, Sanki Shama gaye ko na bona kabhar na lai, anga todi daira bahina bahina, anga todi daira bahina bahina, bahina bahina मोरी कानों की बाला तूते गिरे आंगन में, गिरे आंगन में, गिरे आंगन में, मोरी कानों की बाला तूते गिरे आंगन में। The dholak start to play and the dantal ringing. The dholak start to play and the dantal ringing. The dholak start to play and the dantal ringing. Everybody jumping when I started singing. Kaliyaya na todu hamar mithaddi o balama, o balama, o balama. Kaliyaya na todu hamar mithaddi o balama. Everybody jumping in the middle of the ring. Man, everybody jumping in the middle of the ring. Man, everybody jumping in the middle of the ring. If you see them whining when I start to do me thing. Kaliyaya na todu hamar mithaddi o balama, o balama, o balama. Kaliyaya na todu hamar mithaddi o balama.
This is Vickram Surujpaul in the Boogaloo's factory.
They tell me listen Vickram, we love your chutney song. They tell me listen Vickram, we love your chutney song. They tell me listen Vickram, we love your chutney song. It's tune after tune, man, I give them all night long. Kaliyaya na todu hamar mithaddi o balama, o balama, o balama. Kaliyaya na todu hamar mithaddi o balama. Ganga todi daira bahina bahina, ganga todi daira bahina bahina, bahina bahina, bahina bahina, ganga todi daira bahina bahina.
Yeah, so obviously it's another chutney one there. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. I mean, it is something special, and I can see a lot of preparation in there. Meaning that, people nicely dress up and so forth. I'm assuming that they dress up specifically for that video, or did you actually went to a wedding and get them to be
Well,
part of
there's
it?
there's a lot to talk about that production. Because I've had several releases in the past, and I said, in order to grow, I have to have an original song. So I call this guy because I know he writes very good song. His name is Kenneth Supersad from Trinidad.
Yep.
And that guy, he wrote me the lyrics, and I had to write my lyrics back and give it to Big Rich. Big Rich was the producer of that song. So Big Rich had to make the whole production by, making the melody and make everything work. So when he gave me the track, I had to practice the track. I had some challenges, but I said I have to do it. I have to do an original song. And as soon as I recorded that song and I sent it to him, he was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire." And so said, so done. He gave me my finished product, and I took Naresh sing again, and we did that video. So talk about the video. I actually created that whole wedding. Everything in the background, I actually created that setting. Thanks to Caribbean Fest. Big up to Miss Amrita and her husband. They gave us that space, and I was able to do that shoot. We made a marrow. We bought cake. We had audience. The Sanyasi dance troupe. I also want to big up to them. All those girls came. They did a beautiful job in the dance, and that's how that whole production came about. Um, it's one of my favorite though.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us because just by looking at it, I could tell that, a lot of effort and work was put into it, right? And so it looks like you did a lot of work from scratch. You created that whole thing. And I think that's a beautiful thing too, right? That way it gives you the feel this is something, as you mentioned, you wanted to do, right? And it looks
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
you kind of did more than just that vocal piece of it, as I understand it,
right,
as you were explaining. So
right, right.
so something you should be proud of as well too. It shows your creativity as well too, right?
I'm very proud because I always wanted to do a wedding song, and I said, I have the track, I have the idea, and I just want to execute it properly. It took a year, 1 year from the time I got the lyrics
Mhm.
to the actual video, because I said I'm not gonna go and do something, that is not me. I want to
Mhm.
make an original song, and it must have my identity, and
Mhm.
that's exactly what you saw there. I wanted to do it perfect. I want to make it right. I want to make it my own. And that's exactly what I did.
Absolutely, absolutely. Makes total sense. You
Hmm.
wanted to make it your own, right? And it looks
Yeah.
like you're very pleased with the whole
Oh,
production,
absolutely. Oh,
which,
sure.
yeah, which is awesome. So, what would you say are some of the most interesting, comments and compliments, you've gotten from folks supporting you, whether that be random people, whether that people who may have attended, watching your, the shows, whether that be big or small, whether that be in social media and things of that sort.
Yeah, well, I must say, after I started to sing, I had so many friends and so many bros and sisters, so many people, but a lot of them kind of fall off. And, you have to shape if it in order to grow. And this is for everyone to listening to, because I know as a budding artist, as somebody that's growing, you're gonna lose friends. Um, I'm a victim of that. I'm losing a lot of people, and that's okay. But the true people that I want to really thank are some very good friends. I would call out Babita Prabhu. She always supported me. Ingrid from Trinidad and Tobago, Pooja Ram from Canada. Um, I'm sorry, Pooja Sutram. I have a Pooja Ram in Guyana also who does flyers. I'm getting it mixed up. Um, Mr. Anil Singh who does the vocal. He always loved my singing. Mr. Naresh, he always do awesome work. Big Rich. Those are the people, and that I really want to thank. My sister Nandani, my kids. They are my biggest supporters, and they always push me and encourage me to do my best. And I listen to them, and I know it's in me to do bigger and better things. So I'm gonna continue doing that.
That's awesome. So I want to kind of reflect a little bit on what you just said. You mentioned about losing friends and losing people in the circle as you recognize you started to grow. If I heard you correctly, did I heard
Yeah.
you correctly? Yeah.
Yeah.
So do know that those folks, this is a safe space, by the way, and we're going to be general here, so don't get scared here. So those folks were never your friends in the first place. I want you to know that.
I know. I
Um,
realize.
yeah, and so you want to be moving forward. So this is an advice I'm giving you here. So moving forward, you want to be mindful how you use the term friends, because friends has to be people who will be there for you during the tough times and the challenging times, right? And support your growth and all of these types of things. And if they cannot, do that, then they're not really friends for sure. And you've hit it on the nail when you said that, you're just focusing on the people who are kind of supporting you because that's the only way you will grow and become the best version of you. So I like how you're thinking, and I just want to make sure that I kind of give you a piece of advice as well too, because you cannot have, people in your circle and where you feel stifled and stuck and unsupported, that's extremely hard and difficult and so forth. You wouldn't grow that way, right? And so sometimes if you have to, for a short period of time, stand alone or have, less people in your circle, that is okay too, right? Because as you would agree, you're a smart man. As you would agree, sometimes, the quality, not sometimes, the quality will always override quantity, right? So something to kind of keep in mind. And you, based on how you have been responding here, you have a good head on your shoulder, and it looks like you know all of these things. But I just wanted to hammer out that here while we are at it.
Absolutely.
So it's
Thank you
awesome.
for reinforcing that too.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure. All right, and so I want to be mindful that it is Sunday. You're a busy man as well too, but you've done a very beautiful song most recently. I've listened to it a few times. Um, Hopefully, eventually, we'll get what's her name again in that most recent video?
Pooja Sutram.
Pooja. Oh my goodness. Forgive me here. I met Pooja last night actually. I was at Calypso Hat. I was the one who MC at that event they had there
Oh,
last
nice.
night, and I
Okay.
end up coincidentally I met Pooja there, and, and I couldn't get the name out of my head here. That's a very nice nicely put together production as well too, and maybe eventually if we end up having Pooja here based on availability and so forth, we'll focus more kind of thing. But I want you to tell me about that. You live obviously in the States. And I like these kinds of things, by the way. And Pooja lives here in Canada. Did you have to get in details here, but did you guys know each other from before, or did like somebody had to kind of say, hey, this sounds like a good idea?
Well, I was in Toronto again in May of this year, and we had the same show I was telling you about earlier, the Guyana Independence Day Bash. This year, May was our third year. We decided to bring Pooja on board. So Pooja came, and Pooja was impressed with my singing, and she pulled me aside and said, we have to do a collab.
Mhm.
And then I didn't know she had a song already. I was like, when? She was like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna call you and tell you when. So Pooja called me and she said she have this song and she wants to feature me in it. I was like, sure. Um, so the song for the viewers who didn't see it yet, it's on West Indian Chutney Music. It's called Pardesia. It's a song that is very close to Pooja's heart. Pooja liked to be called Rekha in that song. Like she was saying, she literally grew up listening to that song, and she's seeing Rekha in, like when she actually saw Rekha in the actual movie, she wants to replicate that. So that's what she get in that video. So, so
Mhm.
that's how I met Pooja. I met her in Canada, and she asked me to do the collab with her, and I said yes, and it's a well done production. To talk about the actual video, I actually drove from New York and to Canada, and we did the video at a park at a park next to the ocean. I can't remember the name of the park, but the weather was beautiful on that day. It rained in the morning and in the afternoon, so we were given like 6 hours to shoot that video. Um, and it was a well done video, and I'm glad people are reacting to it. It's all over the place. Everybody playing it, DJs, local bars, clubs, shows. YouTube, Facebook.
Awesome. And I mean, it's available. Folks can kind of take a sneak peek, but I'm going to feature just a short piece on it here, so that folks have an idea as to what we're talking about here.
Okay.
रहने दो सच झूठ हम क्यों सबको बताए मैं भी हूँ मस्ती में तू भी है मस्ती में आ इस खुशी में हम नाचे गए किसको पता क्या किसने किया सब कहती है तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया कहती है तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया
Yes, nicely done. I did watch that a few times and so forth.
Thank you, thank
And
you.
so I want to let both of you know, for that matter. We also want to give credit to Pooja, because both of you did it as well. But because you're here, we're talking about you here, and very nicely done. And I mean, you guys have only done that recently. I believe it's only been released very recently, right?
Like a month ago, a
Yeah,
month
so
ago.
yeah, so not very long. Yeah, and so out of all the things that you've done in terms of music and so forth, which one you can say that, look, this is the one that really stands out for me? I know your production, they all mean something to you. I get that, but which is, which one really stand out for you that, it really gives you that butterfly feelings inside, so to speak.
Yeah, I have to say with my Guyana wedding song, I have to stay there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because it's so much work I put into it, and seeing your hard work actually come out to a great production, it like is the best feeling ever, and my heart and soul is really in that for that original song. So I really, think it's there, but I'm not discrediting any other songs. The song with me and Pooja, it's a beautiful song. It's have over 100,000 likes everywhere and views. Um, my Chalao Naneno, that one also have like 70,000 views. I actually enjoy all the songs, but as an artist, you have to stay with your production that you actually created yourself. So that's where my soul is.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. This is your stuff, eh? I'm only asking you. There's no right or wrong answer here, So if that's what you're feeling, then that's what you're feeling. And I can understand why. That is more of an original piece. You put a lot of effort into that, as you explained earlier,
Yeah,
close to your heart, right? And you're
yeah,
not saying that the other one doesn't mean anything to you. All you're saying, that's the one that kind of stand out for you, which is awesome.
yeah,
I
yeah.
also want to remind you that John from Queens does free video promotion, so don't let that slip through the cracks. Take good advantage of it. John has been doing this whole thing for a long, long time. He's one of the original individual. So make sure you consider that as well too. Just letting you
He's
know.
actually posting my songs. I believe all my production is on his YouTube. So I know him.
Okay, good, good. I'm just making sure because
Yeah, thank
sometimes people don't realize all of that. Sometimes we kind of forget, all the other platforms that are available. So very quickly, when you're not, doing anything musically related, you're not connecting with people to work on a specific project and anything along that line, what is it that you do with your free time? And I know you mentioned that it's hard to get free time, but you get my point, right? Because in life we have to pause a little bit, right? It's important.
you.
What is it that you do? Or if you were to have a whole day off where you're not going to go to work on anything of that sort, what is it that you will do apart from music?
Yeah, I would probably do the gym. I would go to the gym. I would spend time with family, and I love cooking.
Ooh,
I would cook I would fill the island with food.
good stuff.
I love cooking. So yeah, that's it pretty much. And sometimes I would, like go shopping.
That's awesome. So looking back at your own life in general, what would you say are three things you're most proud of?
Three things I'm proud of. I'm very proud of the man I've become.
Mhm.
Um, you know, growing up, growing out of Guyana, growing up in Guyana, and migrating and have a stable job. I think it's an accomplishment to work for the federal government. So
Mhm.
that's my number one. I'm very thankful and grateful and proud to be a dad. And I also want to thank God to have my mom around and I get to take care of her.
Amazing. You are doing all the right stuff. When you respond, you find a way to incorporate gratitude and the things that you're grateful for. You're able to connect those dots, eh? That basically telling me that you understand the purpose of life. Basically, you're telling me in a different way that you know that none of us are here forever, and so you are really you're staying focused, as the advice that you gave me earlier, right? So you as I kind of ask, what advice you have for folks and young folks and so forth, and it is evident, right? It is evident that you're doing all the right stuff, and do know that I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that you continue to stay grounded, and I wish you the best of success. I honestly did not know up until today that you are from Ghana. Right. And so I learned
Very good.
something
I
there
did.
just before we started the show. I mean, nobody knows it all, and so forth, right? So that's okay. But yes, I wish you all the very best, and I thank you for really joining me here on the show. I'm forever grateful for this. I'm giving you now the opportunity to say any last thing you would like to say before we officially wrap it up.
Yeah, well, I would firstly like to thank you for bringing me on board, to let the world now knows who I am, what made me become this person. I want to thank all the viewers. I did not see anybody on the live. I don't know if I was supposed to click somewhere, but I didn't. I want to thank each one of them for spending this Sunday afternoon with us. Um, and I wish everyone a very productive week ahead, and may God bless you all.
Yeah, so you will have to hit share and have it on your page. So you want to make sure you do that so that folks can watch the show afterward. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, as we are officially approaching the end of tonight's program, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning into the Dr. Narine Dat Show. You do not want to miss our show next week. We have a young, talented 17-year-old Canadian who will be joining us. We'll take the opportunity to get to know him and all of that and so much more. On behalf of my staff and our very special guest here tonight, Vickram, both of us would like to join together and wish you a great today and even better tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.